Have you ever wondered why ducks became one of humanity's most valuable farm animals and are often called the perfect agricultural partner? First off, they have incredible egg-laying abilities, known to produce over 300 eggs per year in breeds like the Indian runner, outperforming even the most productive chickens. Where even in ancient rice paddies, farmers discovered ducks could eat pests while fertilizing crops simultaneously, creating a perfect symbiotic farming system. But even weirder is how ducks completely transformed their behavior through domestication, losing their ability to fly and their wild migration instincts, permanently staying grounded even when physically capable of flight, still being able to thrive and reproduce while looking almost identical to their wild mallard ancestors. But despite all this success, most people have no idea that over 80% of global duck production happens in just one country, and these birds remain as one of the most underappreciated, domesticated animals on the planet, with their 4,000-year partnership with humanity largely forgotten in Western culture. The first documented evidence of duck domestication comes from ancient China, and honestly, the discovery was absolutely revolutionary for agriculture. Around 2,200 years ago, during the Warring States period 475-221 BCE, Chinese farmers in southern regions began selectively breeding wild mallards near their rice paddies. The earliest written records describing domestic ducks date back to this era, though some authorities suggest the Chinese may have kept domesticated ducks for at least 3,000 years based on pottery models of ducks excavated from around 2500 BC. China is believed to be where mallards were first domesticated around 2000 BC, probably in southern China by rice paddy farming ancestors of modern Southeast Asians. Here's where it gets really interesting. This wasn't just about having a cute bird waddling around. Ancient Chinese farmers discovered something extraordinary that would change agriculture forever. When ducks were released into flooded rice paddies, they performed multiple agricultural services simultaneously. They ate insects that threatened rice crops, eliminating pest problems naturally. They devoured snails and other small pest animals that damaged young rice plants. Their webbed feet stirred up the water and soil, aerating it and helping nutrients circulate. Most importantly, their droppings fertilized the water naturally, providing nutrients to the rice without requiring additional fertilizer. This rice duck farming system, called integrated pest management today, meant the same land could produce both rice and protein at once. The ducks literally paid for themselves while improving crop yields. It was agricultural genius, and it spread throughout Southeast Asia, becoming one of the foundations of Asian agricultural productivity. Genetic analysis has confirmed that domestic ducks originated from a single domestication event of mallards during the Neolithic period, followed by rapid selection for lineages favoring either meat or egg production. The genes involved in brain and nerve development experienced strong positive selection during domestication, making ducks more docile and manageable than their wild ancestors. So, what actually changed when mallards became domestic ducks? The transformation is fascinating because unlike dogs, which look completely different from wolves, domestic ducks still closely resemble their mallard ancestors. Wild mallards weigh about 1.1 kilograms, but large domestic breeds like the Aylesbury can reach 4.6 kilograms, while small breeds like the Appleyard may be only 0.7 kilograms. Selective breeding created this incredible size diversity from a single ancestral species in just over 2,000 years. The most dramatic change is behavior. Domestic ducks lost the mallard's territorial aggression and became much less aggressive overall. Wild mallards are monogamous during breeding season, but domestic ducks became mostly promiscuous, which actually helped farmers manage breeding more efficiently. Most significantly, domestic ducks lost their migratory instincts completely. Wild mallards migrate seasonally to follow food and warmth, but domestic ducks stay put, making them reliable farm animals. Many domestic breeds also lost their ability to fly. Their feathers aren't long enough, their muscles aren't designed for sustained flight, and some breeds are simply too heavy. The famous Pekin duck, for instance, can barely get airborne. This flightlessness was both an accident of selective breeding for larger body size and a convenient trait that kept valuable birds from escaping. Color variation exploded through domestication. While wild mallards have distinctive brown and green plumage, domestic ducks come in white, pecan black, with green sheen, cayuga, khaki brown, khaki Campbell, and countless other color patterns. The gene MITF, which affects melanin production, was fixed in the all-white Pekin duck through intensive selection. Interestingly, domestic ducks can still mate with wild mallards and produce fully fertile hybrid offspring, proving they're still the same species, despite thousands of years of selective breeding. This creates problems when domestic ducks escape or are abandoned, as they introduce domestic genes into wild populations. From southern China, domestic ducks spread throughout Asia incredibly quickly. By the earlier Han Dynasty, 206 BC to 220 AD, ducks were being kept throughout southern China, and the practice had become widespread across Southeast Asia, where duck raising was economically more important than chicken farming in many regions. But here's the fascinating part. True domestication outside China came much later. The ancient Egyptians hunted wild ducks extensively and even force-fed pintails in captivity, but they never developed true breeding programs for ducks like they did for geese. Ancient Greek and Roman writers mentioned ducks, but archaeological evidence suggests these were captured wild birds, not domesticated ones. Measurements of mallard remains from Roman sites fit within the ranges of wild mallards, not domestic varieties. Ancient Greek women did keep ducks and geese as pets, sometimes owning dozens of them, with images on pottery showing ducks hiding under dinner tables and roaming freely through homes like modern cats or dogs. But these appear to have been tamed wild ducks rather than selectively bred domestic birds. It wasn't until possibly the Middle Ages that ducks became fully domesticated in Europe. By then, Chinese duck breeds had likely been introduced through trade routes, bringing the benefits of thousands of years of Asian selective breeding to European farmers. The most significant moment in Western duck farming came in the 1870s. When the Pekin duck was imported to the United States from China, these large white-feathered birds with rapid growth rates and excellent meat quality transformed American duck farming. Long Island, New York, became famous for its duck farms, with Pekin ducks becoming the standard meat duck throughout the Western world. While most ducks throughout history were farm animals, people have also kept ducks as companions and pets for thousands of years. In ancient Greece, women frequently kept pet ducks in their homes, giving them freedom to wander like modern cats or dogs. These weren't farm birds or food sources, but genuine companions. Images on ancient Greek pottery showed ducks integrated into household life, sitting under tables and interacting with family members. The famous author Flannery O'Connor kept mallard ducks along with her more famous peacocks, seeing part of herself reflected in the birds and appreciating them simply for existing. She wasn't raising them for food or eggs, but as companions that enriched her creative and spiritual life. One of the most charming modern examples of pet ducks is the Peabody Memphis Hotel tradition. In the 1930s, the hotel's general manager and a friend returned from a hunting trip in Arkansas and, having enjoyed too much Tennessee whiskey, thought it would be funny to place their live duck decoys in the beautiful hotel fountain. The reaction was enthusiastic and thus began a tradition that continues today. 5 ducks live at the hotel and march daily from their rooftop home to the lobby fountain, accompanied by a duckmaster in a formal ceremony that has become internationally famous. Muscovy ducks, in particular, are commonly kept as pets because they produce richly flavored meat but also have interesting personalities and are quieter than other duck breeds. They don't quack, but hiss. Many people keep small flocks of domestic ducks in their backyards, providing them with ponds and treating them as beloved companions rather than livestock. The challenge with pet ducks is that many people acquire adorable ducklings, especially around Easter when they're sometimes dyed pastel colors, without understanding that ducks live 8 to 12 years and require specialized care, access to water, and proper nutrition. Many pet ducks are abandoned when they grow into adulthood, creating populations of feral domestic ducks that struggle to survive in the wild since they lack flight capabilities and wild survival instincts.